My name is Denise Mateo, and I am a confident and capable woman, mother, and leader. And I am a victim of domestic violence. When most people think of domestic violence, they ask questions like, why did you stay? Or why didn't you tell someone? But people don't always understand what life circumstances brought you to this place. I hope my story helps to answer some of these questions, provides a better understanding of intimate partner violence, and ultimately encourages another woman to bravely reclaim her freedom. Abuse often takes place when we are most vulnerable. I have gone through many forms of abuse in my life, but I want to share with you two scenes in my life as it relates to domestic abuse and intimate partner violence. After going through some really traumatic situations, I found myself homeless. I was staying on the street or sometimes with friends right before I was introduced to a man who I thought would be a friend. I didn't know where to go, so I would spend my nights at West Street Park, which wasn't as nice as it is today, just saying. It was in the middle of winter, and I was so terrified of being alone in that park that I wouldn't sleep. This man stayed out with me and let me sleep while he watched over our surroundings. This is when I found myself making the dreadful mistake of falling in love with him. He was able to convince his mother to let him stay with them, to let us stay with him. And then this is when I began to notice just how big of a mistake I had made. He was out of a job at that time, so I maintained two jobs. I came home early one night and caught him smoking crack with his friend. When I saw this, I was appalled. I told him that I wasn't going to put up with the drug addiction. He came into the room after me, and then he beat me senseless and raped me. The next day, he was crying and begging me to forgive him, saying that it was just the drugs that it made him black out. Foolishly, I believed him, and soon after it became a habit. He would always tell me, if you're not going to be with me because you love me, you're going to be with me because you fear me. He would take the key with him whenever he left the house, and he would keep me locked inside, knowing that I wouldn't jump out the window because we were on the second floor. He would also hide or sometimes even take the house phone so I couldn't call anyone while he was away. One day after being beaten and raped, I decided not to say goodbye to him the following day and just left for work the next day. I was in the middle of working when he burst into my job yelling at me. He grabbed me by the arm in the middle of my shift and made me leave. He dragged me up the street, up the stairs to the apartment. He ripped my dress off and beat me. After that day, he would beat me every time. I tried to leave without his permission. It got so bad, his own mother pulled me aside and told me, you need to leave him. He's going to kill you. We began planning my escape together. While he was at work, his mother and I brought my stuff down the stairs and waited outside for my friend to come pick me up. He showed up before her and he dragged me up the stairs. And he beat me worse than he had ever beaten me. We waited a few more weeks, and while he was at work, we tried again. This time I knew he was going to kill me. I felt it in my heart. But this time I left. But that was not my last encounter with intimate partner violence. Some time went by when I met the man who I would later become my husband and my father of my children. At first, I had no interest in him, but after a while, I gave into his persistence. From the minute we were together, he was extremely controlling, not only with what I did, but with my money as well. He maintained the my way or highway mentality, and he would constantly break stuff around the house whenever he was frustrated. I found out that I was pregnant with my firstborn, a handsome boy whom I named Raul. About 2.5 years later, I got pregnant again with a beautiful girl named Destiny. We got married. While these two were blessings in my life, it didn't take away from the fact that my husband at the time was extremely verbally abusive and sometimes physically abusive towards my kids. He would put all three of us down. He constantly belittled me and degraded us, talked to us as if we were pieces of garbage from the street. He made our children feel so worthless, we were constantly walking on ice around him. He would also hit the kids, specifically my son, which broke my heart because I didn't know what to do. My breaking point was the day he choked my son so hard, leaving scars on his neck. One of the reasons I had stayed so long was to provide stability for my children. But my mind sharply changed course when my children begged me to leave. That was the hardest moment of my life. I decided that it was finally time to do something about the abuse that not only I was receiving, but my children too. I have been divorced for about a year now. And although I am a workaholic and face my fair share of stress, I am happier than I have ever been, and I am single. I am a single, successful mom with two beautiful, successful children. My family and I have been through so much more than the average family has had to go through. But we overcame it, and because of it, we have become so much stronger. We were unhappy and tired of the abuse. And now that we've taken ourselves out of the situation, we are now thriving. The moral of the story is no matter what happens in life, you just have to keep your head up and keep pushing because at the end of the day, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a way out. For more resources, check out the YWCA.